Hello, everyone, and welcome back again to another Sci'D Geeks podcast. Here we are, very excited. Well, not very excited because we're definitely missing JMO tonight. So we're gonna give JMO's responsibilities to Saya today, since they're the Azerian duo, right? But thank you guys for joining us back again. We definitely appreciate your downloads on Spotify. I know I have been a little bit slow on YouTube. We've just been super busy, but YouTube videos are coming. But don't forget, on Spotify, you can get it all. You can get the audio and the video all together. We've been including some clips from the shows that we review. But again, we appreciate your support. If you feel like maybe this is not your cup of tea, but you know you have a friend that likes Marvel, you know a friend that likes Star Wars, you know a friend that likes Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, whatever, just let them know that we're here to talk about all these shows. And, you know, we're just three guys having fun, right? So,
yeah.
So why don't we start with the news that dropped this week? Well, not news, because we already had the news about the Mario movie coming out in 2023, but we got the first teaser trailer today, and I want to get your thoughts, guys, because you know, I'm pretty pumped about this movie.
Well, was that really considered a teaser? Because it was like over 2 minutes.
A teaser to a movie? I don't know.
Do we really want to debate on it's a teaser or a trailer? Let's just talk about this thing that just came out. You know, Chris Pratt. You know, is talking as Mario, but he doesn't have it's a Mario accent at all. It's just him talking like a normal person. And then, do you guys know who's playing Bowser? Who's the voice for that?
No, who?
Jack Black.
Yeah, Poe. Kung Fu Panda, bro.
Yeah, and then Charlie Day's in it too. I'm not sure what he's playing. I don't know if it's Luigi or Toad, but
he's Luigi. He's gonna be Luigi.
Easy, okay.
I like the way he talks. That's so Luigi, bro. That's so Luigi.
Wow.
So I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a teaser for me. I don't know if we could call it a teaser, but it definitely like got me pretty excited. It looks like it's going to be a nice, funny, like the first scene, right? You know, Bowser comes out, and then like the penguins, right, are ready to fight, and they're like doing no damage to Bowser, right? And
it's a snowball fight,
right, like right away you're like, oh man, like this, they're incorporating comedy. And then I was like, is he gonna kill them like in the game, right? Like but no, luckily they just get, you know, swiped away, and then, you know, the destruction begins. And then we see kind of Mario getting spit out of a tube, of a pipe, and then landing on some shrooms and like shroom land. And he seemed very confused. So I'm curious to see like what happened up until that point, right?
Oh, what's the storyline for this film, right? And then like, okay, I wasn't sure, was it going to be animated always or not? Like, I thought it was a live action film, but which is cool, you know, whatever. But I like how it's kind of like the video game, but as a movie in itself, like they stay true to what the game was about, which is pretty cool.
No, I like the original 90s movie better from what I've seen so far. I like Bob Hoskins as Mario, John Leguizamo as Luigi, and I don't know, it wasn't that like critically praised, but I liked the movie itself. And this one, I'm sorry, Mario without an accent, it's like it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And I didn't even know what those little blue creatures were in the beginning. What were those?
The penguins.
Penguins?
They're penguins?
Yeah.
Blue penguins.
Bro. You know what? I think you need to start playing the game to start having an opinion on this
I've been
movie.
playing the game since the 80s. I don't know if you have.
These newer games, man. These newer games have all these other elements to it. You know, there's Yoshi now.
Oh my God, Yoshi! But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I also like the 90s movie. I'm not going to lie. But I just think this is something different, right? I mean, to be honest with you, if you guys haven't played Mario Odyssey, like, it looked pretty darn similar, right? Like, it's like we're actually going to get like the video game in a movie form, right? I think that's pretty great. And the cast, man. I mean, like Chris Pratt, right? I mean, we talked about Charlie Day, Jack Black. Seth Rogen is gonna play Donkey Kong.
Okay.
Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele is Toad. If you hadn't noticed, what he was like, don't touch that, like typical, right? Kevin Michael Richardson is gonna be Carmex, so I think it's going to be fun. I hope so. I hope it's going to be funny, right? And I also heard about the live action because there were some posters, right, that came out with, like, you see the overalls, like, it's a dude, right? So I don't know if that was, like, just a fan art or whatever. But, yeah, it had me going. I thought for real. I agree on the accent, but what if it starts... And just a theory out there. What if it starts live action and whatever happens, he gets sucked into the pipe and he gets spit out as Mario, right? And then as we progress, maybe he'll catch the accent. I don't know. We saw 2 minutes, but he seemed very confused when he landed, right? Like what is happening? He was looking at the mushrooms and he was touching them like kind of like when Homer moved into the real world, right? And he was like, what? I think hopefully it'll start something like that. We'll see.
Did you take an edible, Rudy?
No, not yet.
Okay, this was very elaborate overthinking on a cartoon trailer for a movie that's coming out like next year.
I thought about taking one in honor of President Biden doing the pardons for all the federal charges of marijuana, but then I'm like, I want this show to be good and not to be like, ugh. But yeah, maybe I'll take a hit next time. So
moving on.
Moving on. You know who I don't want to take a hit from? That would be Miss She-Hulk, attorney at law. So Zaya, why don't you
Ribbit and Rip It.
Ribbit and Rip It.
Ribbit and Rip It.
Zaya, why don't you get us started with She-Hulk? I hope you like this one.
So the summary for this episode, She-Hulk represents Leapfrog, who was injured due to a malfunction in his custom-made super suit, and that basically tells you what happened in the whole episode. But I gotta say, I did really love this episode. Finally, back to mixing in the male perspective or whatever. It didn't have to be the Daredevil mask. It didn't have to be all the fighting action scenes, but just having the male perspective sprinkled in there made this episode a million times better. But then the action on top of that, it's like icing on the cake, So I don't want to keep going. I want to get you guys' perspective. Rolly, how about you? What did you think?
No, yeah. Obviously, this was one of the better episodes of the season, and leading up to the season finale, and it kind of gave us more clarification who the big bad is, but not really. But we could talk about that later. But I love how they brought in this guy Daredevil, and both as Matt Murdock and as Daredevil himself too. And then I like, if you guys notice how when he said his, are you like a gold devil or something? But you hear the theme of the Daredevil Netflix series playing, kind of like what they did with the X-Men, riff, what they did with Professor Xavier and Doctor Strange, or when Miss Marvel too with the with that she has a mutation. Yeah. So I like how they're integrating that with these little call outs. The other thing that jumped out at me, that going back to Netflix, was the hallway scene. Like, because Daredevil's famous for those hallway scenes when it's, I kind of wish they did like that,
one shot.
But, we got that at least, right? And then like, okay, it's gonna go down, right? And then boom, she just drops in on everybody, and it's like,
just wanted to remind you, it's my show, motherfucker.
Pretty much that's what it was. But overall, I think it was pretty cool. And again, it ends at a certain point for me in the episode, but then even she calls it out, like, wait, you guys are still here? What's really going on? But kind of needs to bring it back to like, oh, this is going to lead up to this point when she just basically hulks out in the end of the episode.
Yeah, I want to say something just for the general audience out there, right? Like when you know, and I think Z like referred to it as the male's perspective, right? And I just want to say, like, you know, I know what you mean, Z, and I know that we're talking about the action and like the fights. I mean, we got Daredevil.
I'm not. You guys keep focusing on the action. I'm not talking about the action. I'm talking about they're skewing everything more female. Everything, talking, interactions, everything is female from episodes like 4 or 5 to like 7. It's like they made filler episodes of a show that's only 9 episodes long, which is incredibly stupid in my eyes. And
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying that, like, not like there's males that like that stuff too, and there's females that like the other stuff too, right? So just to kind of like segregate it by male and female, I think it's a little bit like I know the rom-com style, right? And I know it's kind of notable by being a female audience, right? But I just want to make the clarification that we don't want any females coming in and we're saying, oh, male perspective, right? And they're going to be like, you know, screw these guys. So I just want to kind of like throw that out there that we're not generalizing, you know, your taste. You know, I think this is a show for everybody.
Dude, I wouldn't mind if it was a rom-com style. But episodes like 5 to 7 were not even rom-com style. They were like literally pointless episodes. They were just there to be there. There was, I don't know, they didn't move the story forward at all. They didn't do really anything until like the end bits, like teasing what's gonna happen, like the big boss or something. They didn't, story wise, they did nothing. I don't know. I don't know. In my eyes, they're pointless. I can't say.
Can we all agree though that this was a good episode at least?
I agree.
It was an amazing episode.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I agree. No, I was gonna say that you know, from the get-go, right? Like, and typical Disney, we kind of talk about some of these characters like Leapfrog and like the appearance of Daredevil, and pretty much first scene we see Leapfrog, right? Like doing this thing, his suit malfunctions, like you were saying, and like shortly after that, like that was the prep to him hiring She-Hulk. So getting us, because we were talking about last week, like how are we gonna get Matt Murdock in court? Like, you know, like we were thinking, like, is there gonna be another court episode, right? And they set it up just perfectly. They showed us Leapfrog, and right away, Matt Murdock walks into the courtroom, right? One thing that I wanted to, and I don't know if it's just me, and I want to ask you guys, but it didn't seem like the same Daredevil from the Netflix show, right? It seemed like,
my god,
like more of
It was like a different attitude.
happy go lucky,
right, like a more bubbly, more personable, more friendly Matt Murdock than like the miserable, like in the darkness, you know, like you know, Hell's
like
Kitchen,
what we're used to
right?
from Netflix, which is an interesting point you bring up too, because in the comic books, that this Matt Murdock Daredevil that we saw on Disney is more accurate to how it is in the comics, where he's, you know, he jokes around a little bit, and it's not like the, you know, the really serious type that we're used to seeing in Netflix.
And what's interesting though is at D23 and interviews afterwards, he was saying that the Matt Murdock and Daredevil you're going to see on his series is not going to be bubbly and whatnot. He's going to be the dark and brooding kind. So that's why I was kind of confused. Okay, why is he saying that? And then in She-Hulk, he's all bright and happy and skipping and whatnot.
Well, you know why he got all happy and skipping in the end, though.
Oh yeah, he got some.
I mean, you know, speaking of that, and to be honest with, like, from the comic books and for what I remember, like, he brings up both personalities, right? Like, he can be dark, but he can also be like super happy or whatever. And I liked both. I don't, you know, I like the Netflix one, but I'm not gonna say here because I know there's probably gonna be haters out there. They're gonna be like, oh man, they like, you know, made Daredevil like more fluffy or whatever. Like, you know, I mean, I liked it. I definitely liked it because.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Yeah. Why, when he was doing the walk of shame, he wasn't even wearing his shoes?
Get that either.
Yeah, I think it was. You know, it's like on the writing. It's like it symbolizes, you know, right? It symbolizes girl with their heels.
With the heels.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's
I
exactly
thought
why.
that was pretty funny. Like,
was
this guy's barefoot. Like, why?
that was clever, man. That was so clever. You know,
The walk of shame.
the
You
one.
know, how did you guys? Or I'm going to tell you things that I noticed in this episode, and that was like I was like shocked when I heard them. Well, first of all, Matt Murdock's the lawyer. We all saw that or whatever. But did you guys notice while he was arguing his case, he said the Sokovia Accords were
Oh yeah.
repealed. Did you?
Yep.
I was like,
James was bringing that up every time. Like, whatever happened to that?
yeah,
And that
remember?
kind of
Yeah,
confirmed it now for the
yes.
MCU. So it has been repealed. So that doesn't hold against anybody with powers.
And
Yeah.
another thing I noticed in the episode, uh, at the end, right after the fun time she had with Daredevil and whatnot, and Nikki comes in and they're gonna get ready for the gala and whatnot. She comes out and she's got like paint not paintbrushes like makeup brushes like Wolverine style. Did you guys notice that?
I
And
noticed
she
that.
moving like this, and she moving like this, like Wolverine style. I was like, oh my god, Wolverine.
Does it count though? I mean, really?
I
I
think
mean,
I think it's
I mean, we're fishing for every
it's an
little
homage.
clue.
It's an homage.
I liked it because like there last week, and I think really was it last week that you missed? I don't know if you went
Yeah.
back to listen to the episode, but I threw a theory out there, and yes, I might have been a couple of rums in and a couple of beers in, but I threw a theory out that I thought that maybe Nikki could be involved, right? Like something like right over our noses and whatever. So, or maybe I didn't say it. I don't know. Maybe I just thought it. But when She-Hulk kind of said, "Oh, so this would be a perfect ending, right?" or whatever. But no, like this is the big twist, and Nikki disappears from the scene. I'm thinking, oh my God, Nikki's gonna do something crazy, and then she comes out like that. She scared me for a minute, and I'm like, oh, okay, no, she's just being Nikki. But I thought it was gonna be something like, I got your blood, bitch, But anyway, that was just a
Wow, that was a
just-
rant.
that was a rant. But I'm just bringing it to the point. I mean, we are doing a podcast, right? So
Yes, we are.
And Rudy, just to let you know, I don't know if you paid attention in this episode, when everyone was getting the awards, the African American lawyer, the female one, they say her name and it's Mallory Brooke.
Mallory Brooke,
It's not-
not
I just
Amelia.
not Amelia. They mentioned it vocally.
Yes, and she wasn't happy about being presented an award, kind of like a friendship, like what is it, like a participation award?
Participation.
That is such a BS award. What the hell was that?
Basically, if you're a girl, you get the prize.
For being a female attorney. Great. So it was a nice jab, right? Because that shit happens in real life all the time.
I love their comment when the guy, the MC's like, so what do you get from being female attorney of the year or whatever? The first one's like, oh, I love this and this, and then Mallory's like, I love being condescended by males who give me awards for being a female lawyer of the year.
Yeah.
I love it. That was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still feel like she is going to be having something to do with intelligentsia or with Todd. That Todd appearance was a little sus, to say the least. Right? He kind of hooks her into going out in a date, and he mentions he bought that Wakandan spear, right?
At an auction, yeah.
At an auction. So, could be just Todd buying expensive things or whatever, but we saw the needle that was made out of adamantium, right? No, sorry, vibranium from Wakanda, and he gets the spear, right? Like, is there a connection there? Did they melt that spear to make that needle? And are we going to see it in the last episode, right? It's just a thought. What do you guys think?
No, yeah, that could be one of the things like in the last episode, like, oh, everything's connected, and this is how everything worked out, which wouldn't be a surprise if we do see that happen. But in regards to, again, going now that we're talking about this, like who the big bad really is Todd just a peon or just because eventually, because this group, what's it called, intelligentsia, It involves the leader, Modok, Doctor Doom. I mean, there's so many people who are involved in this little. It's like the evil Avengers, and we don't really know who really is the one who's going to be in charge in the end.
I
Yeah.
think I think Todd is going to be like a red herring. They're going to put him out there to maybe be the leader of, not the leader, but the leader of the intelligentsia on the series, and then the real leader will come out from the shadows right at the like last second, like in the end credits or right before the end credits or something in the last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, again, he's just kind of like sus, and he's been in several episodes, right, where he's just like, why are you there? Like, what is your purpose, right? And I refuse to believe that he's just like a little comic relief, for this guy that's just like trying to haunt and sweat on She-Hulk, right? I think he'll have a bigger motive. I mean, we saw him with Mallory, right? So and to James's point, I think that She-Hulk's boss Holloway, I think he may have something to do with that too. It's interesting how he wanted to put together this like superhero or superhuman division, right? And what if he's just trying to reel them all in to kind of like just keep
To
stabs on them
recruit,
out,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it makes you think. Now, on another news, we finally see her wearing her fitted suit, her super suit.
No.
What did you guys think? I thought it was awesome. I mean, I wish it would have been like the comic book, suit, but I know it's Disney and it's PG, so we can't show and reveal a lot of She-Hulk's goods, but I liked it.
Rudy, right here, put up the comic version of the suit.
Doing it right now.
All right.
Put it on Zaya's face.
Yeah.
Actually, put it on your own face so you'll be like, ooh la la.
So yeah, and then let's talk about Daredevil a little bit, right? Like, so we see Matt Murdock, the regular dude, and then he jumps into the next scene where he's at the bar and buys her an apple teeny or whatever, a green martini, and then starts flirting or whatever. And then I think that very next time we see him, he's in the Daredevil suit, right? Like chasing on Leapfrog. And they kind of like do a back and forth, right? In the parking lot scene. I thought that was awesome, right? Daredevil, I don't remember him being like so athletic in the Netflix show. Maybe he was, but it seemed like he was doing a lot more like Matrix stuff, right? Than usual, which I loved.
Well, remember in a Netflix show that everything was more grounded. It wasn't so like extravagant how it is now with these Disney shows.
Yeah.
You know what it seemed like? It seemed like they kind of like fast forwarded all his moves. Not like like really fast forward, but like they increased the speed a little bit to seem like he's moving quicker. He's doing everything quicker and faster and everything. That's
Well,
what it
yeah,
seemed like to me.
like I said, in Daredevil, everything was grounded. It had to be physically possible for him to do these things.
Yeah.
So that's why with this Disney show, like you're involving with like superheroes that do all this other stuff. So they had to make
Yeah,
it
like she
No,
broke the floor, and we see him like
Right.
kind of like doing
bouncing
ninja
around
American
like a
Ninja Warrior
cartoon
style, right?
or
Like
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And
But even on the show, he's still a normal human
yeah,
with just like extra sensory hearing or whatever.
yeah,
That
Yeah,
gives him
that's
echolocation.
that's a typical Daredevil stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I definitely thought that was pretty awesome. And yeah, so like Daredevil, the show, it's kind of like a John Wick, right? Just super regular action, just boxing, and this one is more like the Neo, right? Like with the
Yeah.
like superpower. So I love them both, and I love them in this episode. When he's like going down, right? He's like just going down all the flights, and she just jumps, right? I thought that was cool that she gets him with the clap, right? No pun intended. But
I'm gonna have to edit that one.
but they, we see something there, right? We see something there. They end up hooking up. I thought that was pretty good. I don't know, like, I felt like, not to be cheesy, but like it happened too fast. and not because of like the human aspect of like doing it on the first date or whatever, but I guess the aspect of like, are they gonna be an item in the future, or is this just like a one-time
Whoa.
thing? You know, like
I don't know if I could speak a lot on this, but I feel like She-Hulk is known for hooking up with a lot of the other characters, and that's the thing that needed to include in the show too.
yes, yes. Which takes us to the part where, and I wanted to talk a little more about Daredevil, but it takes us to the part where like she's put on blast in the big screens, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think to your point, she is seen like somebody calls her a slut or something, right? And like you see her all her Tinder profiles and her video like doing it with Josh and things like that, which like definitely took her to the next Hulk level. But that's what I was wondering. Like, is this gonna put pressure on the show as to like we have to see them together now, or is it like a hit it and quit it type thing, right?
What was that one part where I think she was like walking towards the door or something, and she's like, "Oh, who could this be? A Red Hulk, or it could be
Oh,
this?"
yeah.
Remember that part? I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
maybe she's hinting at Bruce becoming Red Hulk." Or
Yeah, going back to the hookups she's had, I just pulled it up right now online. Like one of the people that she hooks up with is Juggernaut, Iron Man. I'm trying
who
to
has
put
hooked up with Iron Man?
Hercules, Luke Cage, James Jameson the third, Star Fox, and you know the list
Nice.
goes on. But again, you know this is something that we that has to be dropped in because it's something that she normally does, I guess.
Wasn't Star Fox in the Deadpool 2 movie? Was he one of the like X-Force guys?
Was it?
Star Fox is Thanos' brother.
I'm thinking you're thinking of I know who you're talking about, the lucky one, right?
No, that's Domino, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
The
that's
girl.
Domino. That's
Domino's the
Domino.
lucky
No, I'm
one.
talking about the like muscular, I think Asian-esque guy with the I think he had a long ponytail or hair or something. Or is it
No,
someone?
Star Fox is Thanos' brother. He comes out at the after credit scenes for the Eternals. He he gets played by Harry Styles.
Ah, okay.
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, going back to my point, it's just that she hooks
Gotcha.
up.
Now, we talked about the hallway scene, like the typical Daredevil thing. He has these like collapsible nunchucks, right? Like
Something like that.
the-
Retractable,
yeah.
like the movie Prey, like
yeah,
and then it comes back.
But am I crazy? He didn't have those before, right? Like that's
no,
a
he
new
didn't.
thing.
That
You
was
know
a new.
what? They had that in Daredevil the movie, but they didn't have that in Daredevil the Netflix show.
That's right. That's right. I kind of remember that. But I think he just had like two sticks. They weren't connected, were they?
No, that was just
No.
two
Because
sticks.
these were like connect.
Billy
Like he
clubs,
he
oh.
threw it, hit the guy, and then like it collapsed right back, and it just became like one stick. I thought it was really cool. And then we jumped to the end, and it's funny because like how she said, I think the show could have ended there, but they had to tease the next episode. So of course we see the gala. We see her, put on blast, be embarrassed
In front of her parents
in front of
and
her parents, and she
everybody.
kind of did what the Hulk warned her of, right? Like to become like go full Hulk, right? And when we saw that, I thought that was pretty cool. I was waiting for that, for her to go like ape shit, right? There's some theories online that the guy that she chased is Todd, that kind of looked like Todd. I'm curious about that, and I hope they tell us next week. But what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think is coming?
What if she ends up in the same prison Abomination was in now, after she gets arrested right there?
Would there be grounds for arrest, though? What could she
What
have done?
crimes did she commit?
Yeah.
Destruction of property.
Again, that's something civil, not something that's deserved to go to prison for.
Yeah. I mean, she threw that guy around, but I mean,
Assault. There you go. Assault.
but
Yeah, again, that's
And
something
assault,
that gets you.
and assault with a deadly weapon, which she is the deadly weapon.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm just thinking
it
that
seems like you want to send her to jail already, but I don't know.
I'm just trying to think of like how a cop or a lawyer would think of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Abomination was there because he destroyed a whole fucking city and killed people, I think. I don't know. But if she ends up in jail, like, then we'll have to have a whole episode of how she gets out of jail, right? So, Rolly, what do you think?
I feel like she's gonna probably, have to bail herself out because she works for this lawyer firm, so it's not gonna be such a huge big deal for her to deal with. But she's gonna have to face what's going on because clearly somebody's out to get her, and that's what's gonna start the episode with her trying to figure out what's going on. I do have a theory though that maybe Todd might be the Red Hulk. Eventually, that's why he wants the blood.
Ooh, that's interesting. That would be
Because he has the money. That's my theory, though.
I gotta say, if the last episode does not focus
Here we go.
on the intelligentsia and who's going after her, if they seriously just have two girls sitting around talking to each other, I'm just gonna turn off the TV. I'm gonna be done. Seriously.
Okay. Do you feel that's what's gonna happen?
Well, if you go by 5, 6, and 7, that could happen. Yes,
So you feel that's gonna happen then? Just final answer.
it could happen. With this show,
That's your theory, though.
no, my theory is if
Okay, then say your theory.
quit hating, bro. I'm telling you what I think will.
You
should
complain
happen.
about something that hasn't happened yet. So give your theory.
I'm predicting what I want to happen and what they will
God.
hate on me that will probably happen.
So, what's your theory, Z?
Like I said, I want them to focus on intelligentsia and who's after her the whole episode. Don't put the bullshit girl talking to girl the whole episode, which they did 5, 6, and 7. I'm done. I'm done with that. Seriously.
So for what I can see, well, and who can trust IMDb, right? But I don't think we're gonna see Daredevil anymore. I think he was just done with this episode, right? So it's
He said in the episode he's flying out tomorrow. So
right.
I mean,
So-
by the end,
he could cancel his flight. Who knows?
I don't know. By the end of maybe if he defends her or something in court, that could be something that keep him around. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because we have a lot of. I mean, if it's a 30-minute episode, I'm not they're gonna make it an hour or something, right? But I doubt it. Maybe 45, 43, 45. I don't know, but I feel like there's a lot of loose ends, right? Like we don't know what happened to Titania, right? Like they kind of leave Todd out there or whatever. What's gonna, Abomination and the Thunderbolts, right? Like all of those like loose ends. Like I hope that we see it all kind of culminate into something, right? I don't know if. Do you think they're gonna tease a second season? I mean, I don't know if it can conclude, right?
Well, I don't know.
It's just crazy.
I'm hoping another thing that I forgot to mention was maybe they might bring in the leader at the end.
Yeah, but maybe like an after credit scene or something like.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, something quick. But what I'm saying is like for what we know right now, right? We have at least Titania, right? Who was like the main antagonist from the beginning or whatever.
Right.
Like she's still out there and she's pissed, right? Because she broke her veneers or whatever. Like. They have. I figure they have to close that chapter somehow, right? Also, like the Mallory book and intelligentsia stuff, right? They have to at least close that chapter, right?
Hold on. Why do you keep bringing Mallory Brooke into intelligentsia? No one on the show has ever included her in it except you here on the podcast.
Dude, mark my words.
Crazy?
She was the one that made us aware of it when she was showing it to Nikki. And
the other thing in the comics, she's actually working for the bad guy, and then she's trying to create the red version of the She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So Rudy makes a good valid point bringing her up every single time.
Okay.
yeah, I think and they might not do that with the show, right? But I know she's a villain in the comic book, and but I just think like, don't you think Z it's odd that she brings up the intelligentsia shit, and then she's like, oh, don't show it to She-Hulk, and then she's seen with Todd. And then the fact that like she won't open up to them, right? Like why can't she be friendly with them, right? They're just being cool, like offering her drinks, offering to be friends or whatever, and she's just like, nah. It seems like there's a motive.
There's another part too, like right before she punches that display, she tells her don't. don't hit it because she knew that what was going to happen. So
When, say that. Say that again.
at the end, right before she hulks out, like gets mad, she tells her not to hit that screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she
So-
does. She does.
So she seems like she's on her side there.
Maybe.
It seems,
or
but
maybe she
we don't
wanted.
know.
Maybe she wanted to. She wanted She-Hulk to continue seeing the material that was on there, right? I don't know. I guess we can twist it around as much as we want, but we won't find out till next week, if we find out. Anything else that? So that's a good catch about Red Hulk that was mentioned. The Sokovia Agreement. So anything else? Any other notes?
I feel like at the end of this season that Zaya will be the number one fan for She-Hulk.
I started number 1, and then
I did catch the barcode.
where?
Oh, where was it?
It was on a like a telephone,
Like a
or
light post?
Yeah. And now it escaped me, and I should have wrote it down. But I think it is a comic book to She-Hulk featuring Captain America. So maybe there'll be a connection there because the new Captain America movie is going to come out too, right? So,
But it was the old Captain America.
well, yeah, but in real time,
Falcon?
we know who the we're talking about Falcon, right? I don't know. I just
No, like an older, old, like ya viejito, gray hairs
okay, gotcha.
Captain America. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I don't know if that's a tease or if that means something, but just wanted to throw it out there since we didn't mention it.
Okay.
So where we
It was a
at?
fun episode. I liked it a lot, though.
37. Do you guys want to jump into House of the Dragon and
Or Andor.
Or Andor.
Andor? We could touch Andor.